You've got questions. Well, we have the man to answer those questions. Jeffrey Levine from Buckingham. Jeffrey, welcome back to another episode of Ask the Hammer.
Good to be back. Ready to nail some questions.
Let's nail some. All right. So this question starts by saying, "Good morning, Hammer," as if I'm chopped liver or something, whatever. But I'm going to add Bob.
Good morning, Bob.
Hammer.
I'll say
Good
good
morning.
morning. Good morning to you,
Morning,
sir.
Hammer and Bob. I enjoy your podcast about the journey to retirement. This is the first time emailing you for retirement advice. I have a credit union IRA accruing at 4.03% quarterly with a total of $59,000, a credit union money market emergency fund of $80,000 making 1.1%, and 81 EE 30-year savings bonds, which matured at 4%. What is your opinion concerning my withdrawal sequence for retirement? I'm a full-time worker at 68 years old, and I'm waiting until age 70 to collect Social Security.
All right, awesome. Well, this is a great question from a conceptual point because it brings to light an important planning consideration, which is the order in which you tap your accounts can have a significant impact on the amount that you get to spend in retirement. Tapping your accounts in the right order and maintaining the right quote unquote level of income helps minimize taxes over the long run, and lower lifetime tax bills, cumulative tax bills over the course of your life means more money that you get to spend. Now, it is really impossible for me to say, take this amount out of this account and take this amount out of this account and this amount out of here without knowing a lot more about this individual, what other sources of income they'll have, how large their Social Security check will be. But ultimately, your goal is to look at your total amounts of assets and the existing income that you know you're going to have, and then to figure out how to spread out that income in a way that minimizes the lifetime tax bill. So in a lot of cases, it's not take this account and then take this account, like do all of this and empty that and then go here. For instance, this individual said, hey, I have a bunch of money in an IRA investment and I have some money in a taxable account. Well, maybe they take some money from the IRA each year, let's just say hypothetically, to get up to the top of the 12% bracket. And then the amount of spending they want to do on top of that, that's funded from the taxable account. And every year they take a little bit of one and a little bit of another so that they never go higher into the 22% tax bracket. Theoretically, again, I can't say that that's the exact amount for this person, but that's the idea, right? Is to figure out, and not everything is your choice. Remember, with IRAs and 401ks, there are required minimum distributions for this individual once they reach age 73. So at that time, they're going to have to start taking money from their retirement accounts, whether they want to or not. That's something to consider. And talked about some EE bonds. When those bonds mature, those bonds would add income if they've been deferring interest all these years, which most people do. When those bonds mature, the interest for the total length of that bond is due at that time. That might be a year when you want to take nothing else out of your IRA because you've got a whole bunch of income coming in from cashing in those redeemed EE bonds. So bottom line, a long story as short as can be, we got to look at everything from a big picture and figure out how to manage and smooth out the taxable income over this individual's lifetime to help get them the lowest total tax bill over the course of their life.
All right. And I know you have said this in the past that doing this sort of thing might require the help of a tax professional, tax advisor to examine all these different scenarios.
Yeah, it's a lot of permutations, a lot of math, and software is a beautiful thing. Going to a professional who can help incorporate this as part of your overall plan. And then looking at, not just what do you take out of which accounts, but also if you got a bunch of different investments, stocks and bonds and real estate and so forth, where do you put them and which types of accounts is best? You're locating your assets, not allocating, not how much in stocks and bonds you have, but if you have that amount in stocks and bonds, which of these accounts is the right account to put them in? That's another important question. And it all ties back to one central theme, which is how do we squeeze more dollars out of your account for you by cutting out Uncle Sam's share to the extent possible? Yeah. And that involves good tax planning over a long period of time. And a good professional can help with that because it is a complicated area. And it's one that's always changing. There are new rules coming out all the time. And even when the rules stay the same, changes in outside factors, for instance, how interest rates have shifted, well, that's had a big difference on where should people invest and how should they distribute those dollars from their accounts. So even when your life stays the same, and even on the rare times when Congress isn't, messing around with our laws, there are still things to consider and changes you can consider making just based on the external macroeconomic factors.
Well, I know one thing that I hope our listeners consider is, as you might imagine, it's what?
Sending us your questions. You can go ahead and do that. We don't care whether you've got EE bonds. We don't care whether you got traditional IRAs, tax. You can send us questions on all of it and more. You can do so by giving us a shout at askthehammer@buckinghamgroup.com. Again, that's askthehammer@buckinghamgroup.com. And Bob and I look forward to nailing the answer to your question real soon.